Good morning, Wildcats. Today is Wednesday, May 5th.
I'm Gabby.
And I'm Lainey. And this is your WCAT News.
You can help prevent the spread of COVID-19 by maintaining proper social distancing, washing your hands for 20 seconds with soap and water, and covering your mouth and nose with the mask.
The Powder Puff game has been canceled, and now for today's weather.
Fun fact, today, which is Cinco de Mayo, celebrates the Mexican Army's victory over France at the Battle of Puebla in 1862.
Good news, seniors. We have a list of senior activities that have been approved, including a field day, picnic or barbecue, and the senior car parade at the lagoon hosted by the PTA Advocacy Group. Dates and other information will be shown at the end of the news. And now for today's news feature.
Good morning or good afternoon. My name is Valeria Medina, and today my topic is about climate change and how it affects our society and planet Earth. What is climate change? Climate change refers to a long-term change in weather patterns due to the excess of carbon dioxide trapped in our atmosphere produced by burning fossil fuels. Here I put a chart that basically explains how much emission each country emits of carbon dioxide. So it's no surprise that China is number one. China is a pretty big country and it is also overpopulated. And also a lot of things are made there. I bet that you probably take something that's around you, look at the back, and it's probably going to say made in China. Last country I'm going to talk about is United States because it's where we live. It's pretty sad that we're number 2 on the most country that emits carbon dioxide. But hopefully at the end of this PowerPoint, we can change this together and lower these rates. Where did it start? So climate change has always been around, but the marking point where climate change became an issue was when the industrial era flourished, where our economy started to industrialize, adding carbon dioxide into our atmosphere. So during this era, a lot of factories were being made, cars starting to get invented, and many more things along those lines. Now we're going to talk about the causes of climate change. First, we have industrializing. Every country is full of millions of factories that produce harmful emissions, which are then released into our atmosphere. Along those lines, we also have transportation, which all release harmful fuels into our atmosphere. We also have deforestation, which around 15.3 billion trees are being cut down each year. That is a lot. Electricity is also a big factor in producing climate change. Energy is used to power almost everything nowadays, and burning fossil fuels creates energy. Here I put a graph that gives you a small rundown on how much each source emits fossil fuels. Now we're going to talk about the effects of climate change. First and foremost, temperature is rising due to all the fossil fuels that are being trapped into our atmosphere. Temperature on Earth has increased about 1.5 degrees Fahrenheit over the past 100 years. The Arctic is melting and sea levels are rising due to the amount of water that is being added to the ocean because of so much ice that is being melted. Here you can see an overview of how the Arctic looked before climate change got very severe versus how it looks now that climate change has drastically increased. It's almost half the size. And this is just an example of how Florida will look if sea levels keep going up. Miami would eventually be underwater completely, and all the shorelines would also be underwater. A misconception about climate change is that people think it just affects the climate. It also affects human health as well. All these harmful fuels that are being released into our atmosphere will eventually create bad air quality. The air would be so polluted, it would be too toxic for us to breathe it in. Also, waterborne disease transmitted by insects will affect us and kill us little by little. Last effect I'm going to talk about is wildfires. They're very dangerous, they're uncontrollable, and they destroy acres and acres of forest each year. Now we're going to talk about solutions. A lot of remedies have been attempted to reverse climate change. For example, wind turbines, efficient consoles like air conditioners, eco-friendly cars, and many other things along those lines. Other ways like planting more trees, walking, or using bicycles as transportation, recycling, reducing, reusing are also helping our planet reduce climate change, and they have helped, but clearly they haven't been enough. Agreements and acts have also been attempted. For example, the Paris Agreement Act is a really famous one, initiated on December 12, 2015, where 195 countries signed to contribute to this act. The objective of this is to come together and limit greenhouse gas emissions to levels that would prevent global temperatures from increasing more than 3.6 degrees Fahrenheit above the average temperature. By doing research, I've found that the next best step is to expand the availability of space for tree planting and to stop cutting so many trees. The study shows that space available for trees is far greater than previously thought and will reduce carbon dioxide in our atmosphere by 25% because trees absorb the carbon dioxide in our atmosphere. My dystopian outcome would have to be that Earth would end up looking like this. If climate change keeps increasing, the flora and fauna would be all gone, and the air would be so polluted we won't even be able to breathe it in. And sunshine would not even exist because of so much smoke and fog in our air. Finally, climate change is bringing our Earth to an end, and it is not that hard to make a change. So let's start making a change now.
Do you have questions about the college application process, or do you need help figuring out your next steps? If you would like to discuss your GPA, test scores, or even military options, email Mrs. Facehash at kfacehash@pasco.k12.fl.us for help.
Need extra help in English or math? WCHS now has a tutoring available held virtually on Wednesday from 3 p.m. to 4 p.m. If you are struggling and need some extra assistance, make sure to Zoom in. Students must have their first and last name on their Zoom as well as having their camera on. Thanks for watching, Wildcats. If you have any kind of social media, follow Wesley the Wildcat. And make sure to follow Mr. McDermott on Twitter for more updates. That's all for your WCAT news. Have a great day, Wildcats.